3,000. That's right, we flipped more than 3,000 profitable houses and can teach you how to do the same thing. Click the Academy link for your free roadmap to financial freedom. Hey, Peter Vekselman again. So today I want to talk to you about some of the reasons some of your deals fall apart. And you know, one of the things we so many times focus on when we look at deals that don't happen, that fall apart for some reason, we focus on ourselves. Like, what did we do wrong? You know, what steps did we take that were not the correct steps? What actions do we need to correct? But my contention is this: a ton of times deals fall apart really have nothing to do with what you're doing wrong. They have something to do with what people around you are doing wrong. Especially like if you're very leveraged, which is a great thing. Like here in my business, you know, I'm totally leveraged with other people's times and efforts. I could say almost 100% of the time if something falls apart, it's not necessarily because of what I did wrong, it's because I put the wrong people in place to execute what I needed to do. But my bottom line is this: you have to be very careful with who you put in place to help you execute deals. And when deals fall apart, don't just look at yourself. Make sure that the people around you are executing what they need to execute. So let me give you an example of a deal we just did a day ago and how this premise comes into play. So here's the deal. I bought this one. We did this deal in Florida, in Jacksonville. It was a quick $49,000 deal, and did it right at the closing table and made a quick $13,000 on it. Again, this was just a day ago. But this is why I want to use this deal as an example about the importance of people around you and make sure the right thing. Now remember, this is a deal I did in Jacksonville. This is hours away from where we are. It was Friday night. It's Monday today. This was Friday night, and all of a sudden the seller on this deal, remember, the seller is hours away. The seller got a little spoofed about this whole deal for whatever reason, didn't feel comfortable. And what she said, I'm only signing and I'm only turning this paperwork over if I can come to Atlanta and pick up my funds right at the closing table. Remember, we're at the twilight part of the week. We're definitely at the twilight part of this whole deal. And all of a sudden the seller, not like 20 minutes away, this is 5 or 6 hours away, saying, I ain't doing this deal. I want to come right to Atlanta. I want to go right to the closing attorney's office, and I want to pick up my check. So Friday night, well, guess what? My attorney at this point did whatever they needed to do to get this deal closed. They stayed an extended amount of time. They stayed way beyond closing hours. They did whatever they had to do to make this seller comfortable. The seller actually did drive all the way to Atlanta. The seller did go to their closing, to the attorney's closing office. From what I understand, they spent an inordinate amount of time there, and the deal closed off. But again, if this deal would have gone sideways, it would have been nothing I did wrong. It would have been because my closing attorney at this point in time would not go beyond, above and beyond what's really required. I mean, we can't really say that a closing attorney should stay open till 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, Friday night, just on a whim. But guess what? People that work with us do, because they understand the importance of getting our deals closed. But the key doesn't really even start and stop with them. The key start and stops with me and you choosing those people. You know, I can tell you story upon story. For instance, our construction guys, many times we're beyond a threshold of a timeline. You know, basically back to the wall, and guess what? And they've come through. I've had agents go way above and beyond what a real estate agent would need to do to get a deal done. They've done them. I've had our acquisition people go way beyond, above and beyond what could possibly be expected for them and get deals done. Pretty much every, closing attorneys, our inspectors, I could tell story upon story that takes place right out of here in my office in Atlanta, pretty much on a weekly basis, where people go above and beyond. So you guys know how important it is to choose the people around you, to leverage your time, to leverage your effort to become successful. You also know how important it is to choose the right people. But now I'm going to elevate that. You have to choose people around you that are willing to do the extraordinary. They're willing to go the extra mile. They're willing to stay longer than expected. That are willing to do things more than expected, then are willing to change timelines on a whim. I want you to think about your people as you're putting your team together. Will they go above and beyond what needs to be done? You know, real estate, you know, we all got the concepts down with the steps that need to take place. Really, this was nothing more than an average closing. There was absolutely nothing unusual about this deal. There's really nothing unusual about what we were buying it for, what we were selling it for, about the sellers, the buyers. Unusual thing happened at the last moment. The seller got spoofed about something and they changed everything up. My team member, my closing attorney, did whatever they had to do to go above and beyond.